Hey there guys and goddesses, welcome back to my channel TheTarative and thank you for stopping by. So if you've read the title of this video, it is a pretty self-explanatory video. I will be removing a surface piercing. I thought it'd be interesting just to film it so you guys can see how to actually remove a surface piercing, just in case you guys have one and want to know how to remove it, or if you're just interested in surface piercings in general. The only reason why I'm actually removing the surface piercing is because the position where it's located, it's a hip surface piercing. Actually, it's a little bit more so on my stomach than my hip area, but I am actually pregnant, and especially over these last few weeks my stomach has been expanding as the baby has been growing, and I've noticed more so over these last 3 days that the surface piercing is now becoming affected by my ever expanding stomach, and it's actually more so the front of the piercing. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. I'll show you my stomach before I remove it, but the surface piercing has now started rejecting or migrating because of my expanding stomach. So now is just the perfect time to remove it. If I were to leave it any longer, I think the surface piercing would grow out more and therefore I would have more scarring in the future. So I just think now is the best time to remove it. Actually, before about 3 days ago, it didn't really look like it was being affected too much by it, but definitely within the last 3 days I've noticed such a big difference in it growing out. So definitely the perfect time to remove it now. Now, as I mentioned, it is a surface piercing. There are a few different types of surface piercings, but this particular type of surface piercing I have is a 90-degree staple bar or surface bar, which basically has like a flat bit on the bottom, and then the little stems that poke up through the skin are 90 degrees. You can get some of 45 degrees, but this one is a 90-degree one, and this particular one is also externally threaded. You can get internally threaded surface piercings and you can get externally threaded. I have actually had both in the past, and I have removed both types as well myself. I definitely find that the externally threaded ones are easier to get out of the skin than the internally threaded ones. If you would like me to do a separate video explaining the difference between the types of surface piercings, then please let me know in the comments below. If there's enough interest, I can definitely do a video on that. But before I ramble on any more, I'll just show you what the surface piercing looks like at the moment and explain a little bit before I remove it. So as you can see, it is on my hips are here. It is definitely a little bit higher up than my hips, so it's more of a surface piercing. Now, I don't know if you can see, but the back bit here is actually absolutely fine. It is more so the front of my surface piercing, so where my stomach has expanded more so around this area, that it has been affected. So you can see quite a lot of redness around there, and I don't know if you can see but from a particular angle, but there is a little bit of old scar tissue, which is the paler bit here, but if I push this out a little bit you'll be able to see that there's a tiny little line that almost looks like a scab or a scratch, and that is where the surface piercing has been pushed out because of my expanding stomach in the last few days, and that's why it's quite red and irritated. So if you have a surface piercing looking like this, then generally that will mean the surface piercing is migrating, and if it were to continue more, or if it looks like this, the best thing usually to do is to remove it. Now in my case, I know it's because I'm pregnant. In some people's cases, some people's bodies are just really good at rejecting the piercings in the first place, but I've actually had no problems with this surface piercing throughout the entire time I've had it. I actually got it a little bit before I turned 17. I think I was about 16 3/4, and I'm now 23. So I've had it a good 6.5 years, and it's actually quite a shame to be getting rid of it, but I rather remove it now before the scarring gets worse, and if I want to, I could always get a surface piercing around my hip/stomach area in the future. So yes, that is what it looks like right now. You can see it looks a little bit bruised down here, and that is also a little bit of an indication if a surface piercing is growing out. Often you can see a shadowy line here as the bar is getting nearer to the skin as it's being pushed out. But yeah, it looks really red and irritated around this bit. It doesn't actually really hurt. A few days ago I did find a little bit of tenderness around here, and I have noticed over the last few days as well that the surface piercing has actually been producing a bit of lymph fluid, so as it's being pushed out it's obviously trying to heal skin underneath, and lymph fluid is being kicked out. So that is what it's looked like. Both balls actually do unscrew on this. I can't remember which one unscrews a little bit more easily, but we'll just get into unscrewing it. So I think I'll try and do this one here. So I'm just going to push it out a little bit. I'm going to hold on to this ball and just untwist this one. So it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. Oh, there we go. So that actually came off rather easily. So that is the ball just there, and you can see that it's just a little externally threaded screw there, so it's quite small. I'm just going to pop that ball down, and then yeah, you can see as I pinch it just what it looks like. So I'm actually going to push on this bit as I remove it here, and then it should come out relatively easily. I don't know which way is going to be best to show you guys this, maybe this way. So I'm just going to push on the bottom bit and just tug this up and pull it out as such. There we go. So that is it removed. And I don't know if you can see, maybe if I twist it the other way, there is a nice amount of secretion on there, which again is just a little bit of lymph fluid from me pulling it out. But that is now what it looks like after I have removed the surface piercing. So it looks a lot more red now that I've removed it. This bit here, as I said, is not too bad whatsoever. It hadn't grown out whatsoever in that position, but this bit you can see was quite red, and it's even started scabbing over from where it's been growing out these last few days. And when I push down, I can feel where it used to be. There'll be a tube of firmness here for a while, I'm sure, and it'll take a little while for that to heal fully and to go down. So that is it now removed, and hopefully the scarring will go down as it's settling down. So for me personally, I generally find that if I'm not massaging the area that has been scarred, I generally find it takes a good year to 2 years for my skin to go from that red scarring colour to the paler colour, but I'm sure it will get there. I'm actually really interested to see how the fact that my stomach is growing and expanding, how that will affect the appearance and the healing of this. So I will be doing some future pregnancy update videos, and in those I'll be doing pregnancy bump updates where I'll be showing you the progress of my ever expanding stomach, and I will make an effort, or try to make an effort, to remember to update you of how the scar looks and how I think it's healing. So yes, that is the surface piercing removed. This is what it looks like out. So let me move my fingers. So you can just see little 90-degree bends here and here. That ball unscrews, and that is the other ball that came off it, and this one just happened to be externally threaded. So as you can see, it wasn't actually too hard getting it out of my surface area. It wasn't too hard, getting the surface piercing out of my stomach / hip area. I can't speak today, I have had them in my arms before, and I remember a few of them were a little bit trickier than others, but that one actually came out rather nice and easily. I do find it's much easier if you push down the side that you've removed the ball from, and then just almost hook it whilst pressing it down and up. So I generally find that motion makes it a lot easier to remove. As I said, I've removed them in the past, and that one was probably one of the easiest that I've removed, so that came out really nice and easily. So I do hope you guys found this video at least a little bit interesting. As I said, I just wanted to share it with you guys since I was removing it. I felt that since I've had the piercing for about 6.5 years, I should do a video to commemorate the retiring of the piercing. If you do have any questions relating to piercings or surface piercings in particular, then please let me know in the comments below. I'll have a little read through and try and answer them as best as I can. If you like this video and want to let me know that you liked it, then please remember to leave a thumbs up, and if you aren't already but would like to be, then remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Okay guys, I shall see you very, very soon. Bye for now.